Hey Leos, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot and welcome to your second half of March reading. I have to find a way to condense these. Every video I'm making is near an hour long. The uploading time and processing time is taking forever on YouTube right now. So I'm going to kind of give a more condensed reading. I'm going to kind of take some of the astrology out of it and focus on the cards. But quickly, I do want to let my Leo, especially Leo ascendants, know the biggest thing that's happening right now. Well, there's a ton of big things. You're still working a lot in that 6th house area, but Saturn's coming out of there and moving into your 7th. So although there is probably still immense pressure in that 6th house placement, Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, it is also a tremendous area of strength for you at this time. There's a lot of work that you're able to get done on a daily basis. There's an energy level that Leo is bringing to the table that is extremely important at this time, because I think a lot of the other signs, you might get a renewal as the sun moves into Aries. A sister sign for you. There is a renewal of fire energy and the cardinal energy that's coming through. And then the Mars in Capricorn and the Pluto gives you immense drive and determination, almost to a point in which you're obsessive about the things that you need to do and get done. Be wary though, because we are also coming upon a Pluto-Jupiter conjunction, which happens at the very beginning of April, and that could bring tremendous power struggles. So I think the overall message here will also kind of concur. What Leo is struggling with is this inner strength, but also the ability to kind of let go and allow it flow into their lives at this time. Uranus and Venus in your 10th house is bringing you all kinds of gifts that are leading you right through all the doors and passages that need to open in order for you to find your destiny. In fact, you're probably already looking at it. But it may look a lot different than something that maybe you had always seen or planned on. And so there's a real need for you to let go of expectations and release your control over outcomes and allow things to unfold sort of naturally. Because I think the universe can make them a lot more beautiful and much more abundant than what you could even envision at this time. Why do I say that? Well, because we're starting with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the Moon card, and the 4 of Swords. So this talks to me about an energy in which you're coming out of the fear of abandonment and loss. And I think the universe is sort of dragging you through these lessons and forcing you to know that you aren't alone, that you don't have to be alone. And as that Saturn moves from your 6th house into your 7th house, life becomes less about who you are, and it becomes more about who you are with others, okay? So this is where the universe says, all right, now you've got to let people in. You have to expand your playground. In your 7th house also is your house of open enemies. So you may be working through areas in which you have to forgive, extend forgiveness, accept forgiveness, and maybe tie up some open toxic relationships that you have going on. This is about ending those cycles. And to properly end those cycles, you have to fully accept them for what they are. And you have to come from a place of being grateful for the experience, even if it was extremely painful. Painful 3 of Swords. You are healing all of the ways in which your heart was ever broken. and you're regaining a spiritual perspective and an understanding as to why things had to happen the way that they did. And it is in the contrast of the experiences in which the moon is giving you, because the universe is speaking to you. When the moon card comes out, it's igniting things within your subconscious. It's triggering you. You're starting to see yourself in others, okay? You also pulled the mirroring card. So if there is someone or something or situations throughout the month, be it somebody in line at McDonald's or a close karmic partner, if there's something they're doing or a way that they're acting which you find yourself easily triggered, it is because of something within yourself that's being worked out. So be really careful with judgment this month, Leos, because you may want to pass judgment towards others. You may feel like saying, oh, so-and-so is not really working very hard, or they just don't seem dedicated. I don't understand what's wrong with them. But if you're sensing a disconnect in them, it's the universe trying to show you there's a disconnect in you. And you could gain so much more momentum in the knowing of that information. If something is aggravating you right now, look hard at it and try to understand it, because it's explaining things about yourself. And there is a lot of work going into you. And the work that you put into yourself is now attracting things into your life, okay? Just by the fact that you did all of this work, the Saturn in your 6th house, the discipline, making the tough decisions, taking emotion out of it, and building on your solid foundations, you're starting to really attract some really beautiful opportunities into your life. And this is an area which, you know, talks to me about fertility, and it talks to me about growth. It also talks to me about a connection. Now you have a Hierophant and an Empress. There's a masculine and a feminine energy here. The Hierophant represents, and it talks to me about Saturn. It talks to me where you have been, where life has kind of made you firm, where you've learned the benefits of good boundaries, of maybe spiritual boundaries. You're begun appreciating routines and schedules and groundedness. The Hierophant talks to me about understanding and respecting the idea of commitment and loyalty. And the Empress talks to me about a feminine energy in which her strength comes from the ability to believe in herself. There's such a strong knowing within her that the universe always has her back, that the universe always provides, and that all she has to do is dream. Now, obviously, we can't get through life by dreaming and manifesting. There has to be work. And so we know here is a really beautiful balance of the two ways of believing and thinking, and they're both equally important. There is a mutual respect. So if we're talking about a relationship here where one person's strength relies on the earthy qualities, the reliability, and then the other person exhibits this beauty, this strength, this worthiness, and the ability to attract through their creativity, it means that all, I don't know how, I'm losing my words. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. Mercury right back into Pisces today, and it's like, forget it. Forget it. Ugh. Everything's moving at a momentum and a pace in which ideas are starting to form and build. And it's bringing you a lot of freedom. Now, I see freedom in a unique way for you. And I say this because, you know, we have overall energy, a Four of Swords, a resting, a peace, a listening, and observing at this point. And that's why there's a willingness to detach emotionally, to detach intellectually, to detach from controlling the situation, from manipulating it, and to stop limiting it. If there's something in your life that you really, really want, you're releasing yourself from the fear of it. You're releasing yourself from the fears of success, from the fears of what happens when it does all work out. And in the freedom, it's not, this is how I love how this came out, because when it came out on the table, it was very much like this. No matter how much freedom you give to yourself, there seems to be something that continually pulls you back into the direction of this Empress energy, of this creativity, this power, this drive, and this passion within you. And even if you do want to walk away from it, there's something, the divine universe, and you see it's backed up again, you've got a moon here, and the moon energy here. It tells me that that moon is going to keep guiding you back towards this Empress energy, no matter how hard you fight it, no matter what level of resistance, and that you can make this process a lot easier by relinquishing the resistance. And that's why we talk about, in your challenge position, the Four of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. Interesting enough, because you got, again, the Four of Swords in the overall, but in the challenge position it's in reverse. Well, that's because there needs to be a balance again. You have to be able to acknowledge this connection, this balancing, whatever the universe keeps bringing back to you, so you can look at it again and again and again. Clearing out and detaching from any of the resistance you're building away from it. Because even though you're not being asked to move on it right now, the time will come in which you'll have to make a move, and you'll have to have a plan. You'll need to know how to act. What the universe doesn't want you to do is avoid it. It wants you to really look at it, look at this opportunity, observe it, because I think there's a lack of trust in yourself and in others. And it's a feeling like Leo has come so far. They've learned so much with this Saturn-Pluto transit. They've learned so much about themselves. And now they have to take this new version of themselves out into the open, to be vulnerable, to see how other people want to play with this different energy. And, you know, you're vulnerable because you want to believe in something. But in order to believe in it, you have to trust it. And in order to trust another person, you have to be able to trust yourself. If there's something inside of you that's telling you you could trust this person, you have to trust yourself. And vice versa. The Tower card in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. So the really hard lessons will come as soon as you try to really control the situation. The more you white knuckle anything, you know, you can't get attached to outcomes when you're manifesting. You kind of have to look at things emotionally, look at how they feel within your body. What is your body telling you? If you're around somebody and you feel drained and tired, well, then the energy is probably not good for you. But when you're around somebody who raises your vibration, who makes you laugh, who makes you happy, well, the universe is trying to explain to you that this is the energy that you need in your life in order to create the abundance and attract it to you. The universe is talking to all of us right now. We're at such a profound point, and that's what 2020 is all about. We're putting all of our puzzle pieces together. We spent a good portion of 2019 and 2020 understanding what doesn't fit and why. And now the things are starting to come together, and we have to allow them to. And there is a learning to trust ourselves and our instinct, and getting out of those structures in our mind, those fears that we associate with. If you look at the collective right now, we're all being tested in our faith in humanity, right? The faith that maybe the universe is quite literally forcing a level of detachment from our money, from our material needs, the inability to go out and shop, the inability to maybe have the things that we use to escape the real world, and the having to be at home with our families, with our loved ones, in an emotional state, in a vulnerable state. And then it says, the universe says, who are you? Who are you in this form? Who are you when your job doesn't matter? Who are you when the kind of car you drive doesn't matter? Who's the real you? And that's who has to act from this point forward. That's what we're all being asked of right now. And the three last cards that came out in the Akashic records for you was the Three of Keys, the chess game, the Architect in reverse, and the Loving Elementals in reverse. So Leo, there may be a part of you that's feeling like you can't trust this situation, and there might be individuals in your life that you shouldn't trust. And for those, you're being asked to really watch and observe closely, because they'll reveal themselves to you. Their true motives will be revealed to you very soon. I think, again, in a time when we're all somewhat vulnerable, we all have to remove our masks and show the world who we truly are. And you're going to get a very good idea of what and who belongs with you at this time if you just sit and allow yourself to honestly observe it without forming emotional attachments or attaching yourself to fear. And leaving behind all of the things that happened in the past, because we have to come at these relationships and opportunities from somewhat of a clean slate, as if we've never been hurt before, as if, you know, there's really a universe is asking you to have a leap of faith right now as you move into these new endeavors. And by making the smart decision and doing that and trusting yourself, it's knowing that the things that are meant for you, you know, they bring a sense of happiness, a sense of like childhood wonderment. Allowing your imagination to open up, to see all of the possibilities. Not to focus on how things won't work, but to focus on how things can. And again, to understand, if you look at the instincts that a child has, they don't realize that people in this world could be very hurtful. A small child will walk up to a very mean-looking dog and hug them because they don't understand that some things can possess the ability to harm or hurt you. And I think in the removing of the walls and in a stripping down of the ego that Leo has had to go through, you can allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to get hurt. And it's in that area, it's in that sweet spot of vulnerability in which you'll receive the greatest gifts. Overall energy and outcome is the Six of Wands, which is a card of Leo. It is a card of victory. It is a card of recognition. And I think this means that the hard work that you've put into yourself, the changes that you made, the foundations that you've laid, they're very much ready to come into fruition, to be brought forth to you in the 3D realm. Things are coming to you very shortly, and it's everything, every seed that you planted. So if they came from the heart and with good intentions, then you should sleep well at night knowing that really beautiful things are on their way to you. Now, the energy I picked up when I clarified the Hierophant was the animal spirit of the black egg, and then I'd like to read to you, because it talks again about that inner truth that we all need to harness right now. Black egg, speaking from an authentic voice and the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet assessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. And the energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It is the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of the voice. Pretty powerful when that is what is clarifying the Hierophant. And I'm picking up on an energy that there is major new commitments coming in, headed towards you, that are reflecting your inner truth of who you are. And clarifying that Empress energy to what it is that you are being intensely attracted to. We have the cheetah. Solar force, action, achievement, and masculine energy. Now, how funny that this is a masculine energy, which is clarifying the ultimate in feminine energy. Looking at the mirror and knowing that you're triggering this. The cheetah is the epitome of the solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside this great creature and expands outward to brighten the universe. The energy within a cheetah personality is palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. Purpose and passion are the best fuel for a cheetah's forward momentum. So if you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before you start running. Achieves anything and boundless energy when in balance. And you are impatient and creative when you are out of balance. To bring into balance, you need to reconnect to a purpose. So I do think that my Leos are being driven by an intensity within, and even though they may want to apply intellectual logic into this game, I don't think the universe is even going to let you. And I think that you have to allow flow and allow things to unfold and let people be who people are going to be and acknowledge them truthfully. And that you have to also be yourself, your true self to others. You may have to, at some point in the next couple of weeks, reveal your feelings. reveal who you are, reveal what you want, what your vision is. These are all energies of what's going to play out as Saturn moves into your 7th. And the partnerships in your life begin to form and balance off of each other. And that needs to be cleaned up and disciplined and really gone about in the right way, because as Saturn moves through there, that is where you will receive your biggest gifts, by what you strengthen in the arena of partnerships, relationships, and commitments. And that is where for the next 2 years you will gain your greatest clarity and your greatest gifts and the most progress within your life. All right, Leo. Pretty spectacular energy, and I think you guys are going to roll as soon as the spring equinox hits in a couple of days. You're going to feel a little bit of relief, although up until then, things at work may seem extremely hectic or worrisome or heavy. Even if it's not stressful, there may be fear involved there, and it could be the fear of losing jobs. You know, we're all in a different situation right now. And as I say to every sign and every person right now, more than ever, is so important for you to have faith in the universe and how beautifully it rolls out our greatest destiny. We'll see you in April, Leo. Bye.